Quite a gusty night last night, man. The wind was blowing, the trees swaying all over the place. This really shielded me, being closed in on the ends here, and carried the wind. Well, I did something last night I very seldom do. I think I went to sleep about 8 or 8:30 last night. Every time I look over here, I thought, man, that bed looks awful comfortable. Thought, well, I'll just come crawl in for a little bit, just kind of lay here a little bit, you know. And next thing I know, it's 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. So I had my personal survival blanket that I folded in half and had in here. And when I come to bed, I took my Osney cloak, I took it off and draped it over me as an additional blanket, kind of a cover. And man, I crawled right down inside of there and it was curtains. I was done till morning. I'll tell you what, man, I slept like a log. I slept a good 8 or 9 hours. But it's always nice to have a good sleep, I'll tell you what. Got some family going to be coming up here a little later, and we're going to hunt down some Christmas trees. Now, this is one of my preferred ways of cooking on a fire. You have your main fire, and you pull off some coals and stuff. And that's the coals you pull off, you put underneath your cooking area, then you cook primarily on coals. Well, I went for a little walk, because when you're trying to make hash browns, the impatience gets in the way, and you wind up turning the stuff so much that it doesn't really brown for you. If I don't stop eating the bacon, I won't have any to eat. Put them in this pan to here. Whoops. Dump us a couple eggs. I already slopped it up. Alright, there we go. Well, a little salt and pepper before it gets too late. And a little over my shoulder. And pepper. Can't have too much pepper, man. Hardly. You haven't got too much if you can still see what you put it on. Well, time to do the damage here. A little ketchup on the hash browns. Anyway, so in the meanwhile, finish breakfast, then I'm going to gather together some of my framework stuff I need to build me a raised bed for in here. And break off the rest of the way. Oh yeah, there we go. That wasn't even hard. Now I'll trim up these limbs, and that can make one of my runners for my bed. Well, this gives me 3 of the 4 main runners that I need. Well, here's my wood yard. These 4 big pieces are going to be the rails for my bed. The smaller stuff there is fillers to give me kind of the springy part. Clean this up a little bit and get some dimensions here. Well, I want it to be as high as me, and then a little bit past that. So I think about right here will do the trick. And a little piece for the fire. Well, about right here ought to be about the right length, because I want it to be able to fit inside the shelter, and my bed's going to be about up so high. So I don't want to be too long so the wood is rubbing right onto the tarp. And I want it to hang out a little bit on each end. I'm going to cut it right here. Right now, I could go up more than this if I wanted to. I could do another layer. I can make this however high I want to. But for my application right here, and to fit into my shelter right, and to work the best, for me, this is going to be the best height. Okay, now we're going to tie a jam nut. That's what we've done on all the corners. You tie an overhand knot in the end. That's a stopper nut. Then bring it underneath everything. Come up top. And then this piece with the stopper knot in it, you're just going to tie a overhand knot. And that overhand knot's going to slide until it hits that stopper nut. So then we just want to work our knot down here to the bottom. You see how it's sliding? Okay. So now what you want to do is you don't want to pull on this. You want to pull a loop through like that. And the reason why I'll show you in a minute. So now we're just going to pull on this piece here. Pull it up as tight as we can get it. Okay. Now, that's why we put the loop through, because you wouldn't be able to tie a knot to there right now. I play that like a guitar. It's so tight. So now, I just pass the end of the rope to that little loop right there. Alright. So now, put me a half hitch in there. And then I'll just cut the cord. And now you can pick up the whole bed. It's all tied together. So here's the bed frame all done. I've cleaned up any sharp protrusions or anything like that, little snapped off branches or whatever. I've tried to smooth everything off on these two rails right here. I've been getting in and out of the bed from this side, so it's especially important here. This bed can be it can be picked up and carried wherever you want it to. You could build it somewhere and carry it to wherever you want. This collection of sticks here is what's going to form the foundation of my mattress. And I've already put a few over there. Okay, so I just put something in here and kind of see how it lays. In our part of the country, you're going to have a hard time getting a straight stick. And generally speaking, I like to put about 10 sticks in there. They don't have to be close together. I mean, they don't have to be jammed in there or anything. This is just to give us a springy platform. All right, so I've got the foundation of my mattress in here, and I've flip-flopped some of the ends, and I've tried laying in here a couple times. I'm kind of tweaking it around, and you can make this as soft or hard as you want. If you want a little softer, you can put the thinner ends more towards the upper part of your body, or you can take some of them out. Don't have as many. So I look at it, if I can get it reasonably comfortable just laying on the sticks, then when I put the bows on, I'm golden. And so when you get in here, it should bounce. It should be flexible. That's what you want. You don't want something A lot of people make a bed kind of like this, and they put the sticks just right, butt up against each other and short and all that. That's like sleeping on concrete. So the last thing that I did here is I put me a cross piece. This is about where the back of my knee is going to be when I lay in here. I don't need to have any flexibility from my knee to my feet. That can be rigid. But I want to have flexibility from basically from about the back of my knee, at least to my shoulder anyway. I've actually wound up taking out a couple pieces, and now I have seven sticks in there, and that's just perfect. All right. There we go. So 2 armfuls is enough to give me the bedding that I need on this particular bed. So what you want to do is you never put the point in towards the inside, because it can wind up poking you. So you always want the points to be facing the outside. And we typically like to put these down in a herringbone fashion like this, so that they kind of layer over top of each other, and it helps them actually to kind of lock down. The foot end, we don't really worry much about anything. It's a little bit of almost anything on the foot area will work. All right, so here we are. Got the blanket in here. I'm ready. I can just crawl right in here between the covers here, go to sleep, and sleep like a baby. One thing I should mention is, because of the springiness of the foundation that I put in here, I can sleep on my side comfortably, as well as sleeping on my back or whatever. Makes a great shelter to sleep in, or a bed to sleep on, whether you're sleeping on your side or on your back or whatever. And you can literally sleep as good as you can sleep at home on a bed. Kind of trying this out, I lay in it. If I notice any hard spots or anything I don't like, then I make adjustments for it. Because you want to get everything set, because nothing's going to get any more comfortable during the night. So if it doesn't feel good now, it's not going to feel good at 2 in the morning. But here's the tie-out tab that's in the center of the tarp. So if I pull up on that, look what that does, versus that's the normal hanging position. If I pull it up like that, look how much of a difference it makes. I just gave like 18 inches of additional space inside of there. I reach into the tie-out tab, do the old Swedish knot thing. Okay. Basically, I'm gonna do a figure 8 around that little stub that's sticking out, just to hold the cord in place. Isn't it amazing? Pulling up on this, I totally changed the shelter. Now look at this, I got room back behind here to stick backpacks or other supplies or whatever, and they're back out of the way. So look at that, a ton of extra room just by doing one thing to this shelter. You see what I'm talking about right here? That back wall right there is almost vertical. And so we have gained a ton of extra space. Oh, I should have built this for last night. This is comfortable. Sleep like a baby, just like this. So your bed's lashed together right here. And all we got to do is pick up whichever corner is low with a stick or a rock or whatever, and you raise your corners up, whichever ones are low, till you got them right. That's all you got to do to level the bed. All right, put a little butter in the pan. The butter's been in the cooler, so it's kind of hard. And so I packed me a lunch. I planned on having grilled cheese, so I brought along a little bread, And the cheese, this cheese, I love it. There's a local cheese maker that they make this pepper cheese that has a lot more flavor. I mean, look at that right there. It has a lot more flavor, and it's hotter and a little and spicier than most all of like the pepper jacks and stuff like that you get. So we'll kind of dip butter in the hot pan here to soften it to butter the bread here. All right, let's see how we're doing here. Oh, I don't think it'd be cooked any more perfect than that right there. Look at that. Now let's just check the cheese here. Oh, look at that. That's what you like to see right there. That cheese tastes so good. I love that cheese. Got to thinking, you know, why not lay down and eat? Who says you have to sit up? This is really living, I think. I mean, you can do whatever you want, but I'm going to do this right here. Oh, it's snoozing time.